Alright, so now for the big project. This is not going to be a short video, so if you want to skip through parts and only whatever, that's the highlights of so this nice little ACM, and part number for the kit is 715-009121, and this one's made in Canada. So this is what comes out of the kit. So you're gonna try not to drop it. You got a main plug-in that plugs into the ACM. You're gonna have two of these. So plugs right in here. I don't know which side plugs to what. They say right on top there's a number. We'll figure that out as we go. There's a fuse system. Then this for the wiper relay, the roof relay. Oh, these are for all the relays. And then it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plug-ins that you can plug in stuff. Just square 4 plugs, each one of them. And they do describe on top LED roof, auxiliary 2, LED sides, LED rear. So I believe LED rear is going to be, because I'm hooking up this kit here, the rear LED light, which comes with a wiring harness and a switch, and this light. So that's going to be probably in the next video, because it's going to be a lot of stuff to plug in. But as you can see, the 4 plugs here comes into the kit, which you plug, so they're all going to be plugs like that. And that's for the top and the rear, and this, I believe, you're going to need a wiring harness as well. So we'll go to that, but that's going to be on the next video. And then you get this other part of wiring, and this is for the front. These are fuses underneath here. So you got the corner fuse, you got the hood light fuse, ACM fuse, and the bumper lights. So, and then you got yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I said in the past video, that this smart module for 650 bucks gives you 5 connection to things. It actually gives you 10. And then you get an extra 5 in the front. So you got 5 plugins in the front, 5 plugins in the back and the top. So plenty of stuff to plug in. And these are everything that you can plug in if you look at it on there. So that's that. Also comes, when you buy this kit, right off the bat, without buying anything else, it will come with some hardware and a lot of tie wraps, and tie wraps with little push so the tie wraps stay in place. And it will come with a new wiper switch, which the difference is mode in the middle and wiper and off. So you can set the mode, so now you get intermediate wiper automatically just buying this module. It's a freebie. Well, not a freebie, you pay for it, but you get this automatically. You don't have to buy any extra wires or any extra anything, or an extra switch for the wiper system. You're upgraded to an intermediate wiper. So there'll be lots of installing to do, lots of wiring. Hopefully it's quick. So hopefully you're not doing this outside with the mosquitoes or the bugs if you're down south, or you're not doing, unless it was already snowing today. So basically what I did so far to prep it for you guys, you gotta open up your front window and get something that's gonna support your window, because you're gonna be disconnecting the corner parts. And then the first obvious, so what I did, make sure you take off your storage compartments underneath so you can stand up in there and walk around. And I put some foams to hold my doors open, because I don't know, for some reason, everywhere I parked in the garage, there was one door opening, one door was staying closed. So I stuffed those up to keep full access to everything. So now we're gonna just start taking stuff apart. So you gotta remove this. That's the first thing you gotta remove. And then they say you gotta remove these. And I believe there's 2 push pins. And then you just flip up and open up. So yeah, I'll be doing a little bit anything. If you see that it cuts out the video and then it comes back to me doing something, it's because I'm trying to make the video shorter for you guys and edit, because this is going to be a long one. Come on. All right. And what I'll do is everywhere where there's, it's just basically do the same thing on the other side. Well, I'll just tell you guys to do the same thing on the other side. Here, if you can see that, and I will try to pop it out. So you guys know how a push pin pops out. So, all right, so basically take the 2 push pins off here, take the 1 push pin off the front underneath here, take this one out, and then just lift up a little bit so you're not scratching everywhere, and just push forward and it comes out. It's basically slide forwards. And then this one here is where the other push pin goes in, and that's it. So next step is you got to take this off. So you pull that from the back, lift it up, just yank it out of the way to give you access to this. Before we start plugging everything, if you want, you have to unplug the battery, take the negative side off. So I'll remove the other side and grab a couple 2x4s and sit them in the corners where they can't slip. So basically here seems to be a good spot to put a 2x4 because of the edge here. I'll catch. I'll sit it this way and then sit it here. So I got 2 26-inch 2x4s. Anyway, and I'm freaking particular, so I put bubble wrap, because you get bubble wrap in all your stuff on top of the 2x4s and taped it up so it doesn't damage the rubber seal around the edge. All right, so now we're gonna pop out these covers, and T30 up here, push pin here, push pin here, push pin here. Even this, should have bought that tool to remove these push pins. There's one. To get this out, it's gonna be, there's a little rubber inside right here. That is the vent for the side windows. That is the vent for the side windows. And then you're gonna struggle a little bit, but yank on it. You're not gonna break anything. There's no clips or anything hanging on to anything once you got the 2 push pins and the T30 out. So put that aside, and then the next step is popping this plastic out of the way. So you basically pull from the corner here, pull from the corner here. I'll snap it back. You gotta lift it from the corner here. You might want to grab a screwdriver or something, or just if your fingers are stiff, just yank it. And it's got this push, and this slide in the front. So you're basically going up and back. All right. So now you remove this. Now you got access to 2 T30s for the dash, for the top mount of the dash on the other side. So as you can see right there, this one and then this one. So we'll be removing the other side, doing the same thing. All right. Here's another one. Here's another one. Then you remove this one, remove this one. And then on this side, am I done? Got one left over in the front right here. So that's done. And now it's pull the dash, the top of the dash out of here. And let's see what's holding it in place. There shouldn't be anything, but it could be snapped into place. And there's also these vents here, but I imagine that there's something holding the vents in place. But I don't want to break anything. You guys are gonna experience this with me, and I hope I don't. No, just pull, keep pulling. Like, don't try to pull in the middle as you're gonna kink the plastics, but get a nice even spread pull, and it's just gonna release eventually. So Now I'm wondering, okay. Oh, so you basically just get the shocks out of the way and lifting, and that's it. You're just basically clearing. So shocks out of the way and just lifting straight up. You don't want to scratch anything. Oh, got the plug for the wire to charge your phone in here. So then there's a grommet in the bottom here. So get a look in there. So it's easier to push down. Or yeah, don't try to pull it up. Push straight down on these rubbers right here, because this is way bigger than this top part, so you just push down and then you should be okay. So I'll just let that hang there for now until I pull this off. So I'll close the lid here so I don't scratch anything, and make sure your shocks are moved out of the way. So I'd recommend maybe grab some tape and taping them up to either the 2x4 or something, and then that's it. So believe it or not, we're already at the point that we're installing the ACM and everything else. So now you gotta disconnect the battery, so come in here with me. I've never checked where the battery was yet, so there's these two turning things here, I believe. And then that's two. Is there anything else holding that thing there? Okay, so it looks like this is tucked underneath the floor mat. So, but I gotta pull these out too to get the floor mat out of the way. Okay, so basically you gotta remove the floor mat out of the way, and then it tells you to pull, wiggle it the hell out of the way. This piece of plastic here goes high in the back, and then there's this piece in the bottom here which holds your storage in place. All right, so now we'll disconnect the ground and then disconnect the positive. So all right, so guys, disconnect your battery, make sure that nothing's gonna touch the post and everything, but it's down here on here. So basically you'll need these four things here. Let me take a look at this. You'll need, pull this out of the bag. Four of these, I've already put two into place, and this is where the ACM is going to sit. It's going to sit right here. So I'll put the other two in. So basically I snap two of these at the top here on each corner. Right there is one. Right here's the other one. Everything seems to be like it's going to be a tight fit, and then we're going to stick this one here. There we go. There we go. So all four are in. So now we're going to grab these ACM, and I don't know if I should plug the wires in the ACM right now, but actually if I want to run the wire through to there, might as well remove these two T30s real quick. I already started removing this one and the other one, so it's not going to be very long. There's a washer with it, so careful not to lose the washers. Then there's the other one right here. There's another T30 right in the middle. I'll just edit it that I took it out in 2 seconds. All right, so as you can see, this is one section here, and then we'll be able to pass the wires underneath. So I'll move this out of the way. This here, this little box here, I believe is going to screw in right in the corner here. And it's funny how they route these wires. We're going to figure this out together. And this is what I'm wanting to pass first. So You can hook up to the ACM. I don't know where this goes. Obviously that's going to have to go on the other side. And it says what? Positive. And there's positives underneath here. So anyways, let's go hook this thing up. I believe this just snaps here. Come on. There we go. So here's going to be your 5 connections in the front. So that's that for that. Here, I guess you clip that somewhere. This here is going to go negative on this one. Battery terminal. This one's going positive. So that's where that's going. This here is the same thing as this. I don't know if there's an extra spot for it or if it plugs in. Looks the same. DCL2. So there should be a spot to put it. We'll find that out later. Then there's this here. So is it DCL1 plugs into this one, and then DCL2 plugs into this one. I'm assuming. I'll come back over it. Then there's a place to clip a wire or something. Or no, that's not the wire. But here it looks like this wire might have to go, I don't know. This is the way it shows that it's routed. There's a lot of extra wires. And then this here is going to sit in the corner. So, anyways. Since this goes this way, so this is going to have to go down in the valley right here. And this is going keypad. So the keypad's got a plug in the back for the keypad. Boy, how many of these things do they have? So before I reconnect this here, we'll and disconnect this one and reset this one in its place, and we'll figure out. It says DCL1, DCL2. So we'll come back to that. I just wanted to route the wires so I could hook it to the ACM. Before, screwing it in, I recommend that you plug it in. So the front controls is going to be like this. Is going to face downwards. So I'm going to hook up both these so I don't feel I have to pry them or do anything. So ACM 1, when you're sitting in the vehicle, this pointing downwards, it's going to be on your right hand side. So push this in, take it easy not to push or crimp any pins. Start this thing here to lock it in, yeah, so pull this up and this will push it in yourself, and then when you hear the click, it's snapped into place. So, and before you start installing the front, use the back one. Wires are going to point away from each other. As you can see, there's big holes at the top, big clips at the top. So this is for the roof or the rear. Come on, okay. You even hear the air pop out of it. Okay, so now we're gonna go move this out of the way. Yeah, that would have been fun trying to plug that in from the bottom there. Good. Okay. Screws. 10mm. Start with the bottom one, which will lock it into place. Yeah, this is a fun project. Don't be in a hurry, and don't think you're going to do this in a half an hour. I'm going to start them all by hand. I just got to screw in this one here. So basically I had to disconnect this plug here that was in the back here, and it hooks up to the top here. I have to replug that in, slide it in. But and up here, if you look, I don't know if you can see that, I had to use a short little and go, and go, and go, and go, and it takes a while. And both of them are like that because the other one's hitting, tucked away underneath there. You can't get a socket to it, you can't get an impact, you can't get nothing. So plug in your 2 plugs in the back, route your wire, just let it overhang if you don't want to hook it up right away. Plug your ACM, and then right here you're going to have the ACC plus, which is underneath here. Just there's nuts in the kit, so just put that one there. And then you got these 2 wires here, and this here is for if you're doing the system and you don't have the touch screen, that you want that auxiliary screen, that quick connect screen there, that you just push the buttons and it does all your functions for you. That's where this goes, plugs down there, but there's none, I don't have that. So, and these 2 haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with those yet. And then here, you got a sensor and you got a bunch of like accessories, whatever, extras. Here, you plug this one in, and then you use whatever's plugged in here, and you plug it into this. You're gonna have to tug on the wire a little bit because she's tight, as you can see. And then you use the one that comes in the wiring harness and plug it back there. In the corner here, you got your fuse box junction. You're gonna use a T20 to hook it up. And then you plug this in, slide it from the other side. Make sure your wires aren't kink. You're passing everything all nice and tight. And the same thing with this. So I figured that this is it sitting on top here like this. I'm going to tie wrap it and then hook it up, and that's where it goes. Now we're going to work our way to the top. So basically once you got that hooked up, now I just got to finish cranking this last one in the bottom here in the corner, and then replug that plug that I unplugged. So, and it's not a quick process. They got Loctite on them. And then there's a little hook here. I put the wire onto this one. I didn't see a hook for this side for the wire for this one that's going to go to the top. I just imagined it's got to run with the other wires. So I'm going to hook it up in the bottom here and then run it to the top. And then, well, got to remove the stereo. So finish screwing that in. And basically, the other 2 wires in the front were the battery wire here that you hook up to here, and then the positive on this one. So I ran the wire up to the back here, ran it forward, then ran the battery here just straight in, like so. So that's that for those 2. And then you got the auxiliary, and then that one. So working my way to doing it. It's ACM. You're not gonna like it. To tighten it in there, be patient. Maybe grab something you can stand on, because if you're standing inside the side by side, you got your belly here and you're trying to reach your arms on the other side. And if you're on this side, well, you got the 2x4 and you got the jack, and not the jack, but the shock, and then this crosser here in your face, and you're tightening away and it doesn't go fast. So this is the last one I got to tie down. Tighten this, and I'll be back when we start taking the speakers out, or whatever, the top stereo out, to run the wire in the back. There's a hinge on the roof that hooks up right here. So basically, once you take all 6 screws off, I took off the mirror because I wasn't sure if the mirror was holding it in place, and yes, it is holding it in place. So remove the mirror. Hey, look, bus bar here. There we go. Got a bus bar. We got an amp here, and the speakers. And there's extra wires that are just hanging ready to be plugged into something. Okay, so we got that going up here, and then you're going up to the top. So we're gonna run it to the side here. All right, guys, so there'll be 3 tie wraps here. I cut them off there. They were tie wraps that were holding in back. And then you see there's like a place that you can clip a wire right through. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And then you end up coming up to the top here, and you're gonna go around the top and jam it in there. You don't want to pull too hard on it. I don't want to break it. And why don't you just slide over? There we go. So just yank on it. And then don't get discouraged when you get to this point because you're almost done. And right here, see these 2 little flaps here? Well, this box here just slides right in there and just clips. And then you see right here, the 2 clips it's going to clip, it's going to slide right there. So I'm going to start off. Then there's extra wires. We don't know where those go yet, but we'll figure it out. So, and then obviously you got the battery, and you got the ACC, which is the one, and then the other battery. So those are going to go through here and then hook up on the terminal right here, and that's it for that. And then this here is going to be your new plug for your wipers. So that's the new one. So that's written right here, wiper. And you're going to get the new plug in, and that's hiding in the back here in the bottom, right there in the center. So basically, disconnect this one there. There's a little clip there on the side there. Be careful not to break it. And then you disconnect this. And then there's this one connected to this one. This one is just freeloading up here. And then there's this one. So you disconnect these 2 to the on top of the amp. And then you're good to remove the whole stereo system at the top here. So that's what I'm doing, because to tuck this one in here, it's rubbing on this, and I don't want to break it. And the little pins in the corner, they're only plastic pins. So just taking my time and removing this. And then this here is wiper motor. So this got to go to the wiper motor. So we had no choice to remove the speaker because we need access to the wiper motor assembly to plug in the new wire. So I don't know where all these wires are gonna go, these extra wires, but I guess tie wrap them. We'll find out. We'll let you guys know. So you remove these 2 screws here, and there's one in the back right in the middle. Anyways, you remove all 3, and then it loosens this up. So basically you got 2 wires, or yank on the, oh, there we go. Just be patient, a little bit of wiggling. So you got that out, so now you got the switch out. Because, alright, oh, there's the little motor for the wiper, I guess. Where does, okay, let me put this aside. And then this is a push on. Oh, it's just a tie wrap. Oh my God, so cut the tie wrap. We'll put another tie wrap after. As if they put tie wraps. They couldn't have just put a clip. There we go. So, all right. So this hangs out. Press on this little one. And there we go. So the motor's there. So now we got this wire here, and for the switch, and also in the kit right here, you got this wire here, and you got the switch. Where does it have to be? Holy smokes. Oh, there we go. Yeah, don't be scared to push the hell out of it. There's a hole at the top. Oh, these bolts. Yeah. Oh, problem. Because there's two wires. One, they all have to go on the same side, not to go around the hose for the windshield washer. All right, so now there's wires behind here that they can get tangled in. Try to yank them out of the way. You want to light up like this, please. All right, so this wire here, get the hell out of the way. This wire here. There we go. And then yank these all out. And yank these. So will they reach? Yeah, they'll reach. This is the extra from the, and then we got this one that needs to go through the same thing right here and through the top as well. Wow, maybe I should have waited before I passed those wires through. Yeah, or maybe they would have had to go through before plugging in this thing, which would have been a good idea. But when you don't know, you don't know. And then this clip here is going to clip here, but geez, why did they put the wire so long to clip on that clip? I'm telling you. Be right back. We'll figure it out. I have to unsnap this thing out of place. Get this nice big square box through the hole here at the top where this is going through, because this came out of the dash and there's a hole back here that runs right to there to plug this in, because this is replacing this. Basically jam this, and before you pass the wiring for the accessories, battery negative, battery positive, run your box through the top here. At the top it fits good, then run it to the front. Don't mix match the plug-in for the motor and the switch, because you're not going to be using this again. So I don't know what to do with this. I'll just tie wrap it up there and leave it floating up there. This one here, the one that comes with the kit, it's written right there that it says that it's for the wiper, and this one here says that it's for the motor. These ones don't. So that'll give you the heads up when if you jam them in there and you're wondering which one is which before you need to yank everything out. So I'll leave this hanging. And then it is better, you can run these wires from the top here. Don't have to run them underneath this plastic here, so make sure you keep this all nice and clear. And then you gotta work your way around and then jam them on top there. Once you're on top, you're all set. So I put them all, I left them all loose so I can move my wires all around easy. And then this is the only time you're ever going to use this buzz bar, unless you're putting aftermarket stuff and whatever. But even there, you can probably buy the connections for these. So once we're done this, it's plug and play. No more wires, no more nothing to batteries, no more nothing. So this is what we're doing this for, and making everything smart as well. That's the only headache that after that it's going to be simplify 100%. So tighten these, then we're going to tuck these away, plug the switch. So all that's left to do is plug this here. So we'll be moving these wires out of the way, tucking them and then circulating them, and then slapping this right here. But I want to make sure all the wires are tossed. I'll finish this off, but just wanted to let you guys know what's next. So and that's it for that. And then just put the thing back on. So we're back at that point. So now I'm going to do this, and then I got to plug this in. Ooh. There we go. And then go around like it was. And then there's a screw in the front, so it can't go there. So that's that for that. And this is just gonna hang there to get ready to be plugged into the new switch. Right here. Just bending all the wires nice and comfortable so they're not kinking right at the back. And then lining up these two clips that are gonna go from this end to that end in there. And this here, yank it out of the way. There we go. So now this wire here is not comfortable with that wire, so we're gonna push it up higher. And now we can bend it backwards better. Same thing with these ones. Tuck them all up here. Yeah, you like to be tucked there. And there we go. So this is gonna be LED rear, LED sides, auxiliary 2, so they give you one that you can do whatever you want. LED roof, LED roof. Okay. But I gotta tie wrap all of this all the way down and tuck it away and just tie wrap the thing. Yeah, just tie wrap it. And same thing with here. We're gonna slide the tie wraps right in the back and hook everything together so it's gonna hold it all together. So all the accessory here that I had put to get extra at the top we don't need. So this is going this way, and then we're gonna have a little bit left over. This one here is washer pump, like washer pump. So I guess there's another wire for the washer pump that you need to take off, that the other one doesn't work no more on the other one. So I gotta find that. So washer pump, where are you? We got the wiper motor here. We got the auxiliary switch here. We took those out. And then there's one right here that looks like it would be for the windshield washer. But yeah, there it is. So it's hiding right here in plain sight. So now I would imagine that it's got some loose on this, because this wire is not reaching all the way there. So it's gotta pull it out. So just a word of advice, look for this windshield washer pump before you run all your wires through, so you don't have a problem pulling it out. I think I'm gonna get lucky that I might be able to pass it through, but yeah, there we go. So washer pump, there we go. So another one we're gonna have to tie wrap. All right, so ground's tightening. So now the moment of truth, let's see if there's I don't know if you want to get in front there or whatever, if there's smoke or anything. Everything's connected. Let's see if we got, I guess we're only going to be able to test the intermediate wiper. Okay, so power going on, and hopefully there's no smoke. So far so good? No, it's not jammed, it's stiff. Okay, there's no place to lock it, but windshield washer, and then you hit the wiper, windshield washer, and then it becomes intermediate. Hit it a second time. It stops it. Let's see. There we go. It's going to go faster. Okay, so that's normal. Hit it again. Turns it off, but off is in the bottom. Okay, so one other hit, it's intermediate. Hit it again. That's intermediate too. Way longer intermediate. I haven't hit off, so it should work again. Yeah. Okay, so if you hit it twice, it's a slower intermediate. And if you hit it a third time, wipers on slow. Hit another time. Let's give her some juice here. So. All right, and then you hit off. Okay, so that does work. So we'll catch you on the next one. So basically put everything back together, the stereo, the whole 9 yards. And if you're not doing the dome, you do not need to remove your roof or remove all the screws at the top and your dome light as well. I'm putting the light in the back here. So I have to drill some holes, so I need to remove all that. That'll be the next video, how to install the backlight. So, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Like here in the front, this plug-in here, that's in the, I don't know if you can see that through the glass. This plug-in here, like they give you a plug-in. It's written, what's written on here? Rear interconnect, right there. Let's see if you can see this. Rear interconnect. Okay, and it just tells you to just plug it, like look through the windshield. Okay? It tells you just to put it right here. Oops. Is there only one way it goes? Yeah, only one way it goes. And that plugs into absolutely nothing. It's a dead end, square, just flat, and you're plugging that in there. Same thing. I found wires. These two wires here in the bottom. And if you look at what it says, tilt, there's no power tilt steering on this thing. So yeah, and there's two wires there, so I don't know if this is for the horn or whatever. There's just different wirings for whatever. It's weird. There's a lot of wires everywhere that kind of don't, like all of these and all the other ones. But anyways, everything works. You get the intermediate, and then you'll have the LED bumper, LED hood, and LED corners. Don't know what those are. And power flip. So I don't know if you can add the power flip windshield. That's what I'm assuming. And then you got the plow. So LED hood is the one I'm going to be using for myself. And I guess if you go to the top, you got the LED for the light bar on top. So you got that. Because at the top it says that you got right here on this one. The other one's right here. So LED rear. So that's going to be for me. LED sides. Don't know what those are for. You got an auxiliary. You can do whatever you want. LED roof, which I believe, and then there's LED roof. So you can either have one big light bar or whatever, because they got the same part number underneath or whatever. So that's that for that. And then your fuse system is right beside it. So that's got all your fuses, and it says on top what your fuses do and what your relays do underneath and everything. So now it's time to tuck away everything. Well, not for me. I got to drill a hole in the back and install a backup light. So we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate it. Hope you guys like this. If you do have any questions about anything, feel free to ask, because it was a little bit of guessing where everything went, and the explanation for all the extra wires and dome, there is none. It's go look it up with your part number, and I can even go through it with you on my phone real quick, and I will show you exactly what you get for this setup here. So it's basically, this is what you're gonna get. I think you gotta turn off the light there. This, I don't know if you can see that really. They show you the breakdown of everything, but they don't show you the breakdown, like you don't see what the other extra wires for the plow is or anything. You just got these two wires sticking out doing nothing, and then you got this stuff that explains to you, and then they start, remove the hood. That's simple. Remove the plastic that's on it for the power. Remove the sides, but they don't tell you that you got to slide forward. They just tell you that there's an extra one in the bottom, and then they tell you to remove the shocks for the window, but they don't tell you what you need to do to hold them up. These are just pushed in, these two on each corner, and they show you two more Torx T30s, and then you remove the two middle ones and these two at each end, and then you remove these push pins and the Torx on your arms to go up. Then you remove the stereo, they show you that, And then, like, this is the picture for the ACM. Oops. This is the picture for the ACM where it's going. Like, they don't tell you it's going behind the steering. It's telling you it's going the brake bracket with 4 nuts. But it's behind this. That's the steering column right here. And these two, like they show you in the picture, like they're easy to get access to. You're gonna need a short little 10 millimeter so you can just turn, like it's gonna take you forever. And then here they show you that you're passing the wire through here, but they don't show you that you need to remove this section here that's sitting right on top. Like this one here, that takes three T30s. So they're not showing you that. So you got 2 at each side and you got the 1 in the back. So that as well. And then to put this in, I don't know what they're showing a wire in the back. I know there's one little wire that's a, where the hell did you go hide? Where they're trying to show you that there's, I don't even see it. That's the one for here, that's the one for there, that's the one for there. There is none. And they're showing you that there's a red wire that's sitting on the other side in the back, and there is none. And right here, this clip here is the one that clips into there. And then you go to the next, and they show you just this in the corner. See, there's no wires or anything coming out of this fuse box panel. There's a million wires underneath here, and you really have to tuck them in so you don't break them, and then you put that in and you screw in the screw in the back. That's it. And then right here, when they explain to you that you got to connect this one that was here into this one, then set this one down. And then you're going for your 2 screws, this one and this one, for the battery negative, battery positive. And then you got this one that's hiding in the back here that you got to hook up, this one that's in the back of the dash. And then you just run your wires to the top. And then when you get to the top, they show you got to plug this in first, then you got to plug this. But run your wires for your washer and everything. And you see here, they don't even show you that you need to remove this. And they don't show you that you should, like here they show you should run your wires on top, but they don't show you that you should run your washer and all your connections right here first through the system. And they don't tell you what to do with this. And if you want to remove this whole thing, they don't tell you that you gotta disconnect the stereo and all that kind of stuff. And they leave you hanging with 2 dome lights. And then they show you, after you're done installing, this is it. That's it. That's the only instruction. There's nothing more. There's no next page. There's no nothing. There's no explanation for the dome. Like they make it really a little, no details, like how to run the wires or nothing. But anyways, they leave you hanging with the dome light, the dome wire, and figure it out by yourself. And this here, can you just chop them off and cut them off and whatever and reuse them for something else, or tuck them away and tape them up and forget about them. All right, so I ran the wire all the way up. I put tie wraps. I hooked it up, if you can see inside here. There's like a place that you can hook up a wire, and I put a tie wrap there. I ran this piece here for the wire up there. And you connect this one here to here, and then these 2 are connected together. Ran this back. Still don't know what this is for. Still don't know what this is for. And then obviously, well, you got the one that's hooked up underneath here. And then you run everything up to the front here. Oops. So now you're gonna have the sensors and the plow and everything. And you're going to have the front and rear camera, all your wires here, and then this sensor as well. So all this is sitting here, and then your auxiliary plug to plug it in, which becomes your DLC2 instead of 1. And then this is all plugged here and everything. So that's done on that. So then, and then don't forget that this is the piece I removed. My foam fell down. So it tucks in underneath here and then all the way to there. And then remember, there's 1 in the back and 2 on each side. And you're just going to sit this down and tuck it down and then screw it in place. And that's going to close the front. I just got to cut all my tie wraps. So I basically put a tie wrap here, tie wrap there, tie wrap here holding these two things together, holding these. It's a good time to take a look at the inside of your vehicle as well. Like if you can see that this foam here is sitting off the side a little bit, not centered. This one was actually all stretched out and hanging off the side when they pressed it in. So it was all, I cut it, trimmed it, and it actually, you can unstick it and it sticks really good back. So I really sat it back in its place. And also there was this clip here that you can see where the blue paint is, or the marker. That had that was actually tucked right here and pulling straight, and this was coming off, not hanging, not holding properly. And also the keypad, the one that goes down here, that you can buy the keypad to get quick connect to everything. Well, I plugged it in and tucked it in right there. And also there was a couple of these clips here that were all crooked and weren't sitting properly. So just take a look on that. And then you got this one here that I don't know why you have it, but this plugs right into here and there's nothing there. So go figure. And then I made my way up, all the way up, and put a tie wrap at every junction and everything, all came here. Then put tie wraps all the way here. Now I got the old switch for the wiper and the plug-in for the power for then the pump itself. I put a tie wrap in the middle, and I'm going to cut the tie wrap and whatever and tuck it in here and put back another tie wrap so it doesn't wiggle away. So that's what I'm doing with that. And then I tie wrapped it there. This dome, I haven't figured out where it goes. I actually, if you look right here, I've taken all the wire, I took everything off of it to find a junction. Here it felt like there was a big junction, but it was just 4 wires going into like one big glued thing that's all stuck together, and then the wire power goes out. I didn't try to pull all these because I know this is power for that and everything. And this goes for the power also for your power windows on each side. So I stopped at that. If anybody knows dome light, how to set it up, you just grab like these, just unplug here, and then you plug in, and then you can plug in a wire or whatever. If it's just a stupidity of plugging 2 wires to here and then coming to your switch in the back and hooking up the 2 wires, and then you connect to your dome with this connection. Maybe it is. I'm kind of, it's been a long journey doing all this and editing and everything for making the video, and I still got to put my backlight. So at this point, I'd rather do all this, finish it off, take a break from this because I got other plans, and come back to it. And if you guys know exactly what it is, or if anybody can put a comment or whatever. I didn't even test if this comes on when I put the power on, if there's any power going to these. So that's where I stopped at that. So it gets to, after a while there, you get fed up, but I just wanted to keep this close. So now I'm putting this thing back together. I know that everything works, the intermediate works and everything, so I just got to cut all my tie wraps and start putting everything back together. And if I come into complications, like basically this is an easy step to put back together. I'll cut these tie wraps off, and then sit this. So this is the piece that put the foam here. Sit this like this, and then there's 3 E30s. There's one to screw in here. I'm not even looking, I know where it is. There we go. There we go. So now you see the foam protecting the wire. Also, take a look at right in here. I don't know if you can see that little orange one. It's starting to have some white on top from rubbing. I actually had to push on this wire down, and a couple of them. This is a very sharp plastic side, and I guess could have vibrated onto this. So just take a look at that to prevent any further. Now I'm gonna put these back on, and then the hood back on. Not the hood, but I mean the top part of the dash. And I'll come back and I'll explain to you guys how it goes in, because it doesn't look like there's these vents here. They're sitting, so there's no rubbers to line up. It's just these rubbers to line up right here. So I'll see if this goes good. So I gotta disconnect these and put the 2x4s back on to get that thing into place. So I'll be right back after I put the 2x4s on. I knew I was forgetting something. I forgot to put so basically make sure you don't forget to put this wire back in the bottom here. So you're sticking this through this hole and then lowering it because the wire is tight, and then push it in and then grab it from the other side, I guess, and yank on it. But you don't want to scratch your dash, and make sure you're... Alright, that's pretty simple. Pull on it like on each side and then twist it in. Okay, so obviously the snaps are on this end. So, and to get this thing in, you lift a little bit on one side and you get to slide on both sides. And then this wraps around, so we'll tuck it in from this side. And there's nothing that holds in the front anything. But then there's this little thing here. Alright, so close this so you don't break anything. And you just line up your vents, and then there's push pins. So once your push pins are lined up, you know where you're going. Okay, so alright. Go to the other side. Alright, this little vent here is hitting on it. Alright, so now, there we go. So everything's in. So now we got 6 T30s to screw in. We'll start with the middle. I won't put them quite snug. I don't know why they're hard to screw in, but actually I'll put them all in. Where's the other one? Right here. Alright, the other one is right here, so get your shock out of the way. There we go. Now we're going to start working our way to the other side. There we go. Okay. The last two. Last one is here. That's it for that. Alright, so now just gotta snap in these two little things, push them in. Basically, you just click in there. So I put in, this side's got the big one here and the big another one there, and this one's got two little ones, so might as well do the put it down this way, push forward by the other way. This here is intriguing that it's got a T30 here. I see people taping up this thing because it vibrates. So I wonder if this is a slider that slides in and out that makes the windshield tighter. It's something to find out. But there's actually two T30s on each side, and this slides this forward. So this is adjustable to make it tighter. Okay. So that's that for that. So we got that. So now we just need the plastic ends to snap on here. You got to line up this little rubber right here into this hole, and also passing this. So, and then you got to skip over this. So make sure you're not in a cold environment, that the plastic is easy to break. So basically, you start off by lining up the pin for the cylinder on the other side, and then push this in. As you can see, we're way offset here. So you gotta watch sure you don't scratch your plastic, and you gotta bend it, yeah. And then again here. And there you go. Once you go over, then you check on the other side for this. As you can see, you're pried right at the end. So now you got to push it forward. See? Now it falls all into place. So now you just make sure that. And also, when you're putting tie wraps to pass wire or whatever, it's better if the tie wrap is literally not on the sides, so it doesn't like buckle from this here, so it fits easier. So put your tie wraps that point straight down, like this, the wire right here, and then so you got a big cavity on this side, like at the far ends. You wouldn't think of doing that, but that's what it is. So, all right. So now push pin. There we go. And then you only got one T30, which goes up here. Make sure your thing's lined up properly. Mine was actually the other side. Good chance I had plenty of T30s because it was stripped from factory when they drilled it in there. So assembly is quick assembly. Then you got another two here. There's one. There's my other one. Oh, I got it. So. Come on, line up. Yeah, you gotta push this up snug to line them up. There we go. Now we're gonna screw in the T30 up top here. Yeah, it looks like it's tight as hell because I could just turn it a couple times. Actually, it went okay. So that's how you put those back on. Now we're good to put the cylinders. Haven't put the stereo on because next video is going to show how to install the backup light. So now we're taking these off. So I put them on the steel bracket so it didn't put pressure on the rubber, not to kink the rubber. And now 2 people is very nice for this. Snap that into place. Snap it back into place. And we're done. So next thing is to snap this back on. This is wrong side. We'll go on the other side, I guess. So, all right, so remember, it slides in from the front going back. So you got this one clipping to here, and this one's got a guide to it that makes you slide in. Then you got this one, and you got this one on top here. And then you're over here. So line up your plastics, put them all nice and tucked in, push a little bit on it, and then there we go. Oops, this one didn't grab the front. There we go. So now we have a push pin underneath here, and push pin here, push pin here. Oh, start from the back here. There's one push pin. Here's the next one. And then this one, right. Where are you hiding? Right here. Alright, she's flush. Push her in. There we go. Push it in. Push it in. So 3 push pins, so easy if you're checking. I topped off my antifreeze because it was right below the center and the max line is just over the line. So I maxed it out. I noticed as well that my brake fluid on one side is half empty, and that's been like that since it was new. So hopefully the dealer's going to be nice enough to give me some free brake oil, because should come with the system topped off properly. So you got to check a lot of things out, I guess. So line them up. And then remember, the front one's got that one clip in the front that likes to stand out. Okay. So I guess you push down on the front as you're pushing in. And then okay, that's in. This one's not going in right, so I don't want to be too aggressive. Come on, come on. All right. This one. This. There we go. Front snapped into place. It's holding in place. This one was a little stiffer. What you're trying to do is not scratch this corner here. And push pins. So remember, the 2 push pins with the washers are the ones that hold the plastic here. So you're gonna have 2 of each. You're gonna have 4. And then the plastic without the washer clips underneath the fender. And then last but not least, slap this thing in because it hooks close to the front, not the bottom. And that's it. So, and then close your window. So I removed the stereo, so the stereo, well, you know, there's only like 6 screws. I'm not putting the stereo back in because I got to pass my wiring. But if you guys saw how I took it off, it should be good. I just wanted to give you guys a little put back together front end. So that's it. So thanks for watching. Hurry up and make the other one. I know this one you guys wanted out, so I hurried up to try to do it and make it as quick as possible for you guys, because everybody's thinking about buying that ACM. So appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe if you haven't, because it's my biggest thank you that you can give me is subscribing for me to do this. This is hours, and then editing hours, and then everything. That's the most way you can show me I appreciate it. Not money, not thank you stickers or whatever. Just subscribe. It helps to grow the channel, and that's what I'm hoping to grow, is to grow the channel. So bye for now.